Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're going to do a one-year review of my 2013 Audi S8. All right guys, so we did a recent review on this car with 15,000 mile review. Now we've had it over 12 months. The CPO warranty has expired, and we've put 17,000 miles on the car since we bought it. So another 2,000 miles from the last review. That last review, watch this video all the way to the end. In the last 20 seconds, I'll link that 15,000 mile review, which will be very comprehensive. So I'll try not to repeat myself in this video. We'll just go over my thoughts after 1 year. First, I'll start with showing you the interior, and then I'll tell you what I like about the car, what I don't like, and if it was reliable, and how much it costs to run this car for 1 year. So remember, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button. Only YouTube channel where we've done 600 car reviews. I've owned over 100 cars. You see long-term tests on this channel. We've probably had 10 or 20 cars to do long-term, like this Audi S8 that I bought with my own money since this channel started about 3 years ago. So remember, if you're watching, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. A lot of you email me, you're not getting all the videos. Sometimes YouTube promotes it, sometimes it doesn't. If you hit that notification bell, you always get a notification that I just posted a new video. I post at least 3 videos a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And like and share, and as always, leave a comment below. All right, now on to the video. All right guys, so let's start with the interior. Well, one of the best things about this car is the 360 camera. So if you could see here in my driveway, this camera, I just backed up towards my garage, so this camera knows that I'm parking, so it's giving me a front view. On the side here, you get a 360 view of the car, which does pretty well. Sometimes it's a little distorted with the curbs and stuff like that, but it is very useful. Now we can turn the menu here and get different views of the car. So now we're getting a total 360 top view, which is very helpful, say in parallel parking or parking in a parking lot. Here we can, these are the 2 front cameras. So I believe there's 6 cameras, 3 in front and 3 in the back. And these are kind of on the side, so you can see, very helpful for seeing curbs. This is a dead on front, so you know when you park in a parking space and they have the cement bumper right there. This is very helpful for that, so you don't hit that cement and scrape the bottom part of your car. Then here, this is just the rear view, and this will tell you the red line as obviously as I get close to my garage. And then this is the rear view too. This helps in parallel parking or in any curbs. And of course, you should look anyway. Don't be relied about the camera. Now this car is pretty big, no joke. It is about 17 feet long. So it's about 2 feet longer than my wife's Jeep Grand Cherokee. That's how long this car is, but obviously much lower to the ground. So the clock still works. This clock is accurate and analog. It's funny how things that are analog actually work. Then you have your climate control here. You have your heated and cooled seats. I have my cooled seats on right now since it's a hot day. We can lower the fan here. It actually gives you, sometimes once you think you're parking, you can't really get out of this camera view to get this other stuff. So I made shut the car off and restart it. So we have roughly 36,000 miles now. And again, we've put on 17,000 since we bought it. I love these analog gauges. Now the Audi has the, the digital cockpit, which looks really cool, but I do like the analog. To me, it's classic. The steering wheel is really awesome. I love how it feels in your hand. I think it's just the right thickness. And you have, your controls for phone, navigation, radio, all here at your fingertips. All right, so now we have our menus here, whether we go to media, radio. You turn all this with the dial underneath, navigation, information about the car, telephone in the car. If we go to the car, we have 4 different unique settings here. And I've done this in some of the other videos if you want to see more in depth. Comfort, auto. I usually ride in comfort because 90% of the time when I use this car, I'm commuting to work. Then we have auto, which it'll change between comfort and dynamic based on your driving. Dynamic mode, which will be the sportiest of all the settings. And then individual. So individual I like. We can set individual. So these 4 buttons here around the dial here, there's these 4 buttons here, and they correspond. So if we were doing set individual here, which was the bottom right-hand corner, that would correspond to these 4 buttons, as I just said, on the bottom right-hand corner. So now if we press that, we can go into all of our settings here. So for the engine and transmission, again, we press the round button, and we can make it comfort, auto, or dynamic. I have it right now on auto. Suspension, we can make the sport suspension, auto, comfort, dynamic. Same thing with the steering, the sport differential. I always leave that on dynamic. That helps get rid of the understeer. I have the engine sound on dynamic, and you wouldn't know it. Either setting is pretty quiet. Adaptive cruise control, you can do auto, comfort, or dynamic. That's probably best on auto. It's a little too rough on dynamic mode. And what's great is it has, a lot of cars don't have, this has a back button. So it's very easy if you go into the wrong thing to just get out. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just leave it on auto, and then it will go, it'll change based on my driving style. Now, one thing I love about the car, so let's go about likes and dislikes. So one thing I love the best is putting this into sport. So we're gonna put it down, and we're in drive right now. And if you look, I'll go very slowly so it's not shaky. I don't have a stabilizer for this. We're in drive. You see the D under the miles per hour there. And now if I put it down one thing, I'm in sport. And that is what makes you shift fast and get that great acceleration. So even if you try to accelerate and drive, it's still very fast. But in sports, like bang, 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 that 8-speed ZF really almost shifts as fast as dual clutch transmission on the upshifts. Where it's slow is on the downshifts. Let's get into what I like the best. So I love that sport. That's one thing I noticed over 12 months of owning this car, that I didn't use it right away. I would always accelerate. In drive, it seemed super fast to me, but once I put it in sport mode, the shifts were so quick, and it was awesome. So now anytime I know I have to accelerate onto the highway or pass somebody, you just drop it down on with the automatic transmission selector here, and it gets you into sport immediately, and you have all those power and the quick shifts. Now, when you left off the gas and you've already passed your person, and maybe you're going to turn off soon and you want to lift back on the throttle, I still have the busted thumb here, then it gets a little rough. It holds the gear, may hold it at 5, even 6,000 RPM, and it may hold it there for like what seems like forever, and before it kicks down a gear. So then it kind of gets rough and jerky. So that's where a dual clutch would have an advantage over that. But where this 8-speed torque converter automatic is in traffic, it's much, much smoother. Not always, sometimes a little jerky when you go or gets confused, like if you're making a right turn on a busy road or something. But typically it's way better than GLA 45 AMG I was commuting in traffic with, the dual clutch, because this has a torque converter. So that's what I like about it. I love the power. Realistically, you're not driving with Lamborghinis and Ferraris when you're commuting to work. I use this as a daily driver. So it's really the fastest car on the road. It's the fastest thing I'll run into that day. I've said multiple times, you'll be faster in a drag race than a Hellcat, because you're getting the power down with the all-wheel drive, and he's going sideways. So realistically, you're the fastest car you're going to see on the road that day, and you literally have the passing power to pass anybody. So a couple surprises were how good the sport mode was with the transmission setting. And another big surprise, and who cares, is gas mileage. With my GLA 45, I got about 23 miles to the gallon average. That was commuting, probably 26.5 on the highway. And with this car, you get about the same. You get, again, 520 horsepower, and Motor Trend dynoed these cars, and they put about 520 to the wheel, so really they're close to 600 horsepower at the crank. And I'm still getting 22, 22.8, 22.5 gas mileage. And the reason for that is on the highway, it runs in 4-cylinder mode, and you won't even notice that it's 4-cylinder mode. The engine sounds exactly the same. They pump in some white noise in the cabin so you don't hear the harshness of a 4-cylinder twin turbo engine, because it's an 8-cylinder twin turbo engine, but at least on the highway, say going 70 miles an hour, you're running in 4-cylinder mode and get that great gas mileage. So I love the power, I love the looks, I love the massage seats. Definitely go for the Bang & Olufsen stereo. That was a $6,500 option when this car was new. This car had a sticker of $120,000. I live in northern New Jersey. The closest car that I could find with Bang & Olufsen was Miami. That's how rare of an option it is. So I actually got this car in Miami. I shipped my trade-in, GLA 45, down to the Audi dealer in Miami and got this one back. Now, it's not the same Miami dealer that Eddie X had a problem with his Audi. This was actually a McLaren, Porsche, Audi dealer, and they are not in Miami, but they are in South Florida. And they did a terrific job for me. They gave me a great trade on my GLA 45 and a great price on this car. And one of the reasons, you should always get a highly maintained CPO car, so like I bought my McLaren. I've had my McLaren pushing a year, no problems. Had this pushing a year, no problems. If you go on the Audi forums, every S8 explodes the day after the warranty expires. The reason I had no problems, and I put 17,000 miles on the car, so I went from 18,000 miles to 36,000 miles in a year, is because I bought a CPO. You buy a highly maintained car, it should stay highly maintained. Same thing with McLaren, same thing with BMW. So people wonder, why are my old BMWs reliable? Well, I bought them as CPO cars are highly maintained cars from individuals, and those cars should stay that way. Instead of buying a modified car that's been tuned to 700, 1,000 horsepower and never had any of the maintenance done, it's not going to last that long, and then you're going to have problems, and then you're going to spend a lot more money than if you bought a clean used CPO one. So I was able to negotiate pretty heavily on this car. I got $4,000 less than they were asking, and the reason why is salesman told me flat out. First, they didn't accept my offer. They called me back a couple hours later and accepted it. They said, you know, down in South Florida, they get full price for every Panamera they sell, every 911 Turbo, every McLaren, but nobody wants I think it was in South Beach, actually, the dealer, or in that area. They said nobody needs a all-wheel drive Audi. And these S8s are pretty rare cars. They don't sell many of them, so unfortunately, you really have to search the country, especially if you want the stereo, which is well worth it. Because remember, on the used car market, one that has this Bang & Olufsen stereo and one that doesn't sells for about the same amount of money. So you might as well go a little further and find one with the exact options you need. This ice silver is beautiful, and it always looks clean, which is good. I don't have to wash this car so often like a black car. I originally wanted black on black, so it actually worked out, and I really do like the silver for a daily driver. If it was like a weekend sports car, I'd probably prefer black on black over the silver. But the good news is this always looks clean. You have to have I have a real estate business. I'm a commercial real estate broker, so you always have to have your car clean when you pick up clients, and it's way easier to do that in a silver car than in a black car. Running expense, before I tell you what I don't like, running expenses on this car, if I didn't hit the 2 potholes, so watch the 5,000 mile review, 10,000 mile review, 15,000 mile review, the pothole updates. If I didn't do the 2 potholes, this 17,000 miles only cost me 3 oil changes. You can do them yourself for pretty cheap. If you have to go to the dealer, my Audi dealer charges $165. So literally for less than 500 bucks, 400 something dollars, is all cost to run 17,000 miles on an Audi S8. Now, it cost me more than that because I hit 2 potholes and wound up having to get 2 new front tires and 2 new rear tires, plus a wheel. So my expenses were higher. Just look at the 15,000 mile review. I add them all up there. Maybe I'll link this at the end of the video, so watch this all the way through for the last 20 seconds. So how could I run the car so cheap? Could I bought a low mileage, all original, unmodified car that was CPO? And you have to do all those things for that to happen. You know, it's still low mileage compared to 2013 S8's 36,000 miles is still very low mileage. So what don't I like about the car? The only thing I really don't like about the car is it's 17 feet long. So I park in a small parking garage at work, and my car sticks out 2 feet. So I'm still waiting for someone to come around the corner or back into me. That is my only fear. This car's really big. If you were taking it in a, say, urban area, you had a parallel park, you need a lot of room because you got a 17 feet long. The cameras certainly help, but it's a big, wide car. You take up most of the lane. This is too big to fit in my garage. 17 feet long, it won't fit. I bought this house new construction a while ago, but the garages are not that big, and the ceiling height's only 9 feet. It's not very wide. I would have to take out my stairs, my refrigerator, maybe to fit this car, maybe. So, but I got nicer cars in the garage, so that's fine. What else don't I like? I guess just the potential for big maintenance. So again, buying a CPO, front brakes are really expensive. These are like Lamborghini and Gallardo brakes on this car, practically size-wise. I think they're 15-inch rotors, 15.5-inch rotors, so brakes cost a lot of money. So luckily I bought the CPO car where I had newer tires and brand new brakes, also a brand new battery, because when a car is older, more 4 or 5 years old, the battery could go at any time. So, you know, there's potential, you know, that's why I didn't tune the turbos or anything like that. I'm totally out of warranty now. We're definitely keeping this car for now. There's another car I have my eye on, which watch my Monterey videos for Car Week, and at the end of one of those videos, I'll tell you what I'm looking at now. or considering. But this car's been phenomenal. I mean, that's the only downside. It's big. It's heavy, 4,400 pounds, but that's lighter than its competitors, about 400 pounds lighter than the cars it competes with. I would classify this car as a fast luxury car. It's not a sports car. I wouldn't say it's a sports sedan. So if you want something sportier, get an AMG or an M5. I would say those are definitely sports sedans, which this is not. It's just a fast luxury car. But for what I need it for, it's been great. I'm excited just talking about it. All right, guys. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. I don't know how many subscribers when I'm filming this video. Get us to 10,000 subscribers. We'll add another car to the channel. And I will see you guys next time. Watch these videos I'm going to link now on the S8 so you get all caught up. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.